So when you think about good Boruto episodes, you think about Boruto episode 65, 189, 204, and 208, but episode 217 definitely solidified itself as probably the best episode in all of Boruto, at least from what I've seen today. This episode, I don't know who was working on it for the animation and whatever, but they definitely took their time actually, animating this fight and making it worthwhile. There were a couple of things that I really did enjoy from this episode, which were some homages to part 1 of Naruto, where they kind of reenacted some scenes with Naruto and Isshiki fighting, which I thought was really cool. And it was always a treat when they decide to bring back some old scenes and sort of treat like the OG Naruto fans and just give us a little bit of something to remember the old Naruto. And make sure to subscribe to see more reviews like this, man. It's free. What are you doing? But yeah, everything from the cinematography to the fight scenes to the voice acting, the music just synced very well. In particular, seeing the Baryon Mode in the anime is sort of reminding me of like Ultra Instinct Goku. Not the same concept, but in this fight, Naruto virtually could not be touched by Isshiki. Isshiki was barely able to even land a hit on Naruto for like the first part of the episode. It really did remind me of, when we saw Goku go Ultra Instinct for the first time and he was just virtually untouchable. And in the manga, they explain it like Naruto's sort of a boxer and his goal isn't to exactly win. His goal is to more so just dodge punches, maybe land a couple of hits, but pretty much you just want to shorten his lifespan. You don't want to go all out. So in this whole fight, Naruto isn't exactly trying to kill Isshiki with sheer power. He's more so just trying to get good hits in and shorten his lifespan so Isshiki could eventually die out. The transformation is called Baryon Mode. They didn't say it exactly in the anime, but with the whole boxing thing, I just really like how Naruto's is able to weave in every attack, and there's even a point to where he's even able to sense the rods from Isshiki that not even Sasuke was able to actually see prior hand. So you can just really just tell how much this Baryon Mode transformation really just boosts up Naruto in terms of his speed and strength, and even his sensory capabilities as well. Being able to see those rods just instantly appear in front of him and be able to react and catch them is an amazing feat in itself, because no one else in the show that has fought Isshiki has been able to actually see those rods and counter against him. And this is just kind of a testament to how they show that Baryon Mode Naruto is league stronger than Isshiki. And I remember when the manga first came out, there was a lot of discussion about, is Baryon Mode stronger than Isshiki? Is Isshiki stronger than Baryon Mode? But I think it's really solidified that Isshiki in this episode could not catch up with Naruto. The only time when Isshiki was actually able to fight back against Naruto was when Naruto's form started to wane out, but he quickly regained that form and was able to overcome Isshiki again. But once again his form started to sort of die down, and that's when Isshiki was able to take control of the battle. And I also want to shout out the homage scene, because I talked about it at the beginning of this review, but the scene where they're both on the water and he does like that uppercut punch, that was a homage to when Naruto and Sasuke were fighting at the valley. I forgot the exact name, but they were fighting and Naruto did that uppercut punch against Sasuke and threw him back into the water. So really like seeing that scene, and it was a good treat to see. But yeah, the Rasengan scene here was done well. Seeing the Rasengan, at first I thought that Isshiki was going to actually shrink his ninjutsu, because in the manga he didn't actually use any ninjutsu against Isshiki, because the main thing with Isshiki is that he can just shrink your ninjutsu. So there's no point to even trying to use any jutsus against him or anything. You kind of just have to go straight up hands against Isshiki. So there was really no point to using ninjutsu. But in this fight, we actually saw Naruto pull out a Rasengan that was small at first. I think the reason why he made it small at first was because he wanted to sort of make it unnoticeable so Isshiki couldn't exactly shrink it at first. But as he got close to Isshiki, the Rasengan expanded and that big explosion happened. And I noticed something else in this fight. Isshiki actually shot a fireball at Naruto. I wonder where this fireball came from. Could this have been like Kashin Koji's fireball from when he was fighting Kashin Koji? Not exactly sure, but he was able to shoot a fireball at Naruto. So not sure what that was, but either way, that whole scene and the whole lighting and the effects was hands down probably my favorite part of the episode. And I like the scene where Naruto and Isshiki are sort of coming to a close, and Naruto is holding Isshiki down and he starts beating him down, but at this point, Naruto has kind of extended his form as long as he could, and it's running out. So Isshiki kind of uses this to take advantage of the situation and holds Naruto by the throat, and he's actually able to sense Kawaki through Naruto because the chakra that Kawaki's arm is being powered on is using Naruto's chakra. So that's why Shiki's able to, transfer Kawaki over to the battlefield. And the moment Kawaki actually gets on the battlefield is when all hell lets loose. Now, Kawaki arrives. This is when Isshiki gets really desperate, and he follows Kawaki because Kawaki's ordered to run, and Kawaki's running, he's running. But Isshiki manages to actually catch up to him, and this is where Sasuke actually returns and uses his Rinnegan to switch places with Kawaki, and Sasuke uses a Byakugan suppressing bomb in order to actually block Ishiki's Byakugan from fighting Kawaki. And this is where Isshiki gets extremely desperate, and we even see him use this new technique where we didn't actually get to see this in the manga, where he summons a whole bunch of rods and like ball type thing, and he shoots rods in every single direction in order to find Kawaki, because he's going to use these to sort of like pinpoint his location. But that scene right there just showed just the sheer strength of Isshiki. Just think about how desperate he was to do that, because he could have actually killed Kawaki by shooting all those rods, because those rods were capable of destroying mountains or those little landforms. So just think about how desperate this man is to actually find him, that he's willing to almost kill the very vessel that he's looking for. But this doesn't even prove to be useful, as he can't actually find Kawaki. But he goes to plan B, and plan B is to actually hold Naruto hostage and threaten to kill him. And Isshiki says, I'm going to count from 20 to 0, and if you're not out by 0, then I'm killing Naruto. So Kawaki sits there, his back against the wall, and we just get like 10 minutes of flashbacks of Jigen and Kawaki interacting with each other. And looking back at Kawaki's past, this is not the first time that Isshiki has done something like this, right? Because there was a moment to where Kawaki was hiding in a closet, and Jigen started counting down again and threatened to kill his pet fish. If you remember back in the Kawaki origin story, the whole goldfish arc, to where the man with the goldfish was trying to sell him to like some child trafficking thing. So they kind of brought back the whole like fish metaphor, which I really like to see. And Jigen was pretty much threatening to kill this fish if Kawaki didn't come out in time. And there's a couple of times to where this gets done and Kawaki hides. And I think this what this really symbolizes is, Kawaki sort of being in a shell, being scared of Jigen / Isshiki, and not willing to stand up to his abuser. And he sits there having flashbacks of this happening over and over again, until one day Jigen actually kills the fish, and you can kind of see the worry on Kawaki's face. So he's in a similar situation to where the same thing's gonna happen to Naruto, and if he doesn't act fast, then Naruto's gonna die. And Kawaki really has to do is he has to kind of just dig deep in with himself and to get over his fear and actually overcome the very thing that has been plaguing him his whole entire life. So just from that point, it was very, very beautiful how they did that scene. That flashback was perfect. As Kawaki's thinking about this, he grabs his arm, goes up the mountain, and looks straight down at Isshiki, getting ready to face the very thing that he's been fearing his whole entire life. Now, this episode was very, very good. 10 out of 10 episode. They did Baryon Mode so much justice in this episode. I think that the next episode is going to be sort of the conclusion for it, but there's a little bit more things that are going to be coming. Don't want to spoil it for the anime onlys, but you're going to enjoy the next couple of things in like the next 2 to 3 episodes, because this fight isn't over yet and there's a lot more stuff to come. Now, I don't think we're going to get any sort of episodes like this for a good bit, because the animation for this episode I think was being worked on since like episode 200 or episode like 189. They've been working on this episode for a pretty long time. So episodes like this, episodes like 65, like 217, those episodes kind of go down in the books as one of the best episodes to ever be shown in Boruto. And I like that for the best fights in Boruto, we're sort of raising the bar of how well the animation is going to be. And I'm hoping that if we get some better fights like this with maybe some other characters, that maybe we'll get some more homages to like scenes of Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, because I'd really like to see that, for them to sort of implement that more, because I always love when they throw those flashback scenes, like during the Momoshiki fight when we saw Naruto and Sasuke teaming up. I really love seeing things like that. But for the most part, you know, they did a really good job at showing us sort of Naruto's like final fight with Isshiki, him sort of, you know, having his last stand. And, you know, I think I even forgot to mention that, yeah, either, you know, Kirama or Naruto's life force is going to die out when this form goes. So, you know, because Naruto's life force is going down, then they're sort of implying that Naruto is going to have to eventually die. So we'll kind of see the conclusion of that next episode, and we'll kind of see what really happens to Naruto, because this form has been very damaging to his body and was sort of like a last ditch effort to actually kill Isshiki. But yeah, pretty good episode. Like I said, let me know what you guys thought about it. Anyways, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and join the Discord, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.